Okay, I continue. I hope my dress will be ready in time for the state ball. Who is saying this? The seamstress. The seamstress is saying that I think my dress will be ready in time for the ball party. I have ordered flowers to be embroidered on it, but the seamstress are so lazy. Oh, sorry. This is not the seamstress. Who is saying this? These lines are spoken by the maids. Okay, maids, queen's maids. So what are they saying? They are complaining. You can say they are complaining. They are saying that I hope my dress will be ready on time. For the ball party. I have ordered flowers to be embroidered on it to that seamstress so many days back. But this seamstress seems to be so lazy. She is not delivering the product, my dress on time. So here you can see that these women, they lacked empathy, isn't it? They didn't have any kind of feelings or understanding or empathy for the seamstress. They were complaining. They were just judgmental. They were so much judgmental that they ended up saying that the seamstress was lazy. But the seamstress was not lazy. She was working day and night to complete the embroidery work, isn't it? In spite of the fact that her son was lying ill, but she was working on the embroidery. So you can see that these rich women are always very, very prompt in making judgment regarding others. Okay. So he passed over the river. Who passed over the river? The swallow. The swallow passed over the river and saw the lanterns hanging on the masts of the ships. Now, once again, here is a description of what the bird saw as he flew from one part of the city to the other part of the city. Okay, he saw what? He saw that the lanterns were hanging on the mast of the ships. Mast, isn't it? It's kind of a flag on a ship. At last he came to the poor woman's house and looked in. Finally he reached to the poor woman's house and he tried to peep inside. What did he see? The boy was tossing feverishly on his bed. The boy was tossing, means moving this side and that side. Okay, feverishly. He was having fever. Okay, his body was paining. He was having fever, so he was restless and he was tossing his body from this side to this side and that side on his bed. And the mother was so tired. The mother was so tired, so sad, so disheartened that she had fallen asleep because she was so tired. In he hopped and laid the great ruby on the table beside the woman's thimble. So what did he do? He jumped inside. Hopped means to jump inside the house into the room, and he kept the great ruby on the table beside the woman's thimble. Thimble, that needle and that thing on which the woman was working. So he kept the ruby beside the woman's thimble. Then he flew gently round the bed. Okay, after that what did he do? He capered round the bed. Capered, or you can say he gently flew round the bed, and he was fanning, okay, the boy's forehead with his wings, because he was so feverish. Okay, his body was so warm, so he wanted to cool him down. Okay, so how cool I feel, said the boy. So as he was fanning the boy's forehead, the boy was uttering, what was he saying? That, oh, I feel so good, I feel so cool now, I must be getting better. And he sank into a delicious slumber. So what he was tossing feverishly on his bed, but now what happened? He slowly and gradually he slept. Okay, slumber means to sleep. Delicious slumber here means a good sleep. Then the swallow flew back to the happy prince and told him what he had done. It is curious, he remarked, but I feel quite warm now, although it is so cold. Okay, so the swallow comes back to the happy prince and tells him what he has done. He has definitely done a very good job. And then he remarks, the swallow says, it is curious, it is strange. He remarks, he tells, that I feel quite warm now, although it is so cold. Please underline this line, students. So what is he saying? That I feel quite warm now, although it is so cold. Why is the bird feeling warm, although it is so cold? Once again, a paradox has been used here, students. What does it mean? Why is he feeling warm? He is feeling warm despite being so cold because he has done a good work. Whenever you do something good, you will feel good from inside. So even though the physical atmosphere, the environment was cold, but he was feeling warm from inside. Why? Because he has done a good job. Okay, and then the happy prince tells, yes, you feel warm because you have done a good action, said the prince. And the little swallow began to think and then fell asleep. Okay, and then the little swallow, became very philosophical. The prince said, yes, you are feeling warm because, in spite of the fact that it is so cold, because you have done a good action. And the little swallow began to think over it. Okay, he became philosophical. To think means to philosophize, isn't it? To think about something. So he thought about what he had done that day and how he was feeling good about it. You see, students, a very beautiful moral is expressed here through these lines, isn't it? What is it? That whenever you do something good for others, you feel good, isn't it? You please try to, I'm sure that you all have done so many good actions for others, isn't it? And you must have felt so good about it. Okay, think about any poor people you come across, and many times you have helped them, and how did you feel about it? You felt very good. Last time I remember that I don't know from your class how many of you have actually deposited, but there were many students who came and submitted, they submitted, deposited some clothes for the poor people. You remember, they during some kind of program in the school, and I'm sure you must have felt so good, isn't it, when you donated all those clothes, because you knew that those clothes are going to help the poor people, the needy people, isn't it? So there is always a feeling of a feeling of accomplishment. Okay, you feel accomplished, or you feel very happy, or you feel very contented and satisfied whenever you get an opportunity to help others. This is a kind of satisfaction, students, that no amount of money can give you. Okay, money can give you many things, but money cannot give you the kind of happiness and satisfaction that you will get when you render your service, when you give your service to someone else. Okay, when you sacrifice something for someone else. Okay, so now where am I? When day, that is okay. Yeah, when day broke, he flew down to the river and had a bath. Okay, next morning, what happened? He woke up and he took a bath in the river, and the bird, and now he is ready to go to Egypt. So tonight I go to Egypt, said the swallow, and he was in high spirits at the prospect. Okay, so because he was there only for one night, isn't it? And that also because the prince had made a request. So now this morning he is very happy because his spirits are very high, because he has the prospect of going to Egypt today. Okay, there is a possibility that he will be reaching Egypt today. So he is very happy because his friends are waiting for him there. And moreover, he has also visited all the monuments and sat a long time on top of the charge steeple. Okay, so he has enjoyed the city, has seen the city. Okay, and so he has visited many monuments, the church, everything. So he is very happy about the fact that, okay, fine, I have spent here one night, but I have also seen so many things in this city, and today I am going to go to Egypt. When the moon rose, he flew back to the happy prince. So what happened? When the moon rose, he came back to the happy prince. Have you any commissions for Egypt? He cried. I am just starting. So what did he tell to the happy prince? That, do you have any message? Commissions means what? Messages, any news or any messages for anyone in Egypt, because I am starting my journey today. Just at that time, what did the prince say? Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince. Will you stay with me one night longer? I am awaited for in Egypt, answered the swallow. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince. Far away across the city, I see a young man in a garret. He is leaning over a desk covered with papers, and in the glass by his side there is a bunch of withered violets. His hair is brown and crisp, and his lips are red as pomegranate, and he has large and dreamy eyes. He is trying to finish a play for the director of the theatre, but where am I? He is trying to finish a play for the director of the theatre, but he is too cold to write any more. Okay, there is no fire in the grate, and hunger has made him faint. So what is he saying? That, swallow, little swallow, will you please stay back with me for one more night? Please help me out, because far across in the city I can see a young man. Okay, a young man who is working in a garret. Garret means a small dark room on the top of a house. Okay, a small, you can say not a very good room, but a kind of a store room, like a dark clumsy room. Okay, usually that is kept for keeping unnecessary things. So he is a poor writer okay, and he's leaning over a desk covered with papers. He's working on some papers, and in the glass by his side there is a bunch of withered violets. So once again, there is a flower vase, a glass by his side, where some bunch of withered violets. Now withered violets, violets are flowers, withered violets. Now once again, these withered violets are symbolic of what? Symbolic of the fact that this man is so tired. Withered means here what? Withered matlab मुरझाया हुआ फूल है ना. So मुरझाया हुआ फूल reflects what? It symbolizes what? It symbolizes that the man was very tired, exhausted. Okay, his hair is brown and crisp, and his lips are red as pomegranate, and he has large and dreamy eyes. This man, he's describing the man so beautifully here, the Happy Prince. He's saying that this man had brown and crisp hair, okay, unruly hair, and his lips are red as pomegranate. He looks so tired and exhausted. He's trying to finish he's writing a play for the director of the theater. He's trying to finish a play because he has to do it. He doesn't have much time, but it is so cold that he's not able to write anymore. There is no fire in that garret, and hunger has made him faint, and he's almost fainting, okay, because he is hungry. Once again, once again, a different picture of the society is presented here through this writer, isn't it? What is he saying? That the writer is not able to finish his writing because he's hungry, okay, he's hungry, and then there is no fire. He's feeling cold and he's fainting. I will wait with you one night longer, said the swallow, who really had a good heart. Okay, now the swallow, here we can see that the swallow really had a good heart, isn't it? So because this night or that night also he is going to sacrifice for this writer, and he's saying that okay, fine, I will stay with you for one night more. Okay, he asked if he should take another ruby to the young playwright. So he said that what should I do? Should I take another ruby from you and give it to the young playwright? Alas, I have no ruby now, said the prince. My eyes are all that I have left. They are made of rare sapphires, which were brought out of India 1,000 years ago. He ordered the swallow to pluck out one of them and take it to the playwright. He will sell it to the jeweler and buy firewood and finish his play, he said. So when the swallow said that should I take one more ruby from you? So the prince says that alas, oh my God, I don't have any more ruby with me. I just have my sapphire eyes, okay, eyes made of sapphire stones, which were brought from India. These stones were brought from India 1,000 years ago. These are very precious stones. So he orders the bird to pluck out one of them, one of the two eyes, and take it to the playwright. He says that the playwright will sell this to a jeweler, and he will be able to buy firewood and food, and he will be able to finish his play. Dear prince, said the swallow, I cannot do that, and he began to weep. Now the swallow says, oh my God, my dear prince, I cannot do that. Please don't ask me to do that. I cannot do that. And he started crying. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince, do as I command you. So what did the prince say? That you don't have to argue with me. You just do as I am commanding you, as I am ordering you. Please pluck out one of my eyes and go and give it to the playwright. So the swallow plucked out the prince's eye and flew away to the young man's garret. It was easy enough to get in, as there was a hole in the roof. Through that he darted inside and came into the room. The young man had his head buried in his hands, so he did not hear the flutter of the bird's wings. And he looked up, he found the beautiful sapphire lying on the withered violets. Okay, now what happened? The swallow, when he saw that it was impossible for the prince to convince him the other way, he what did he do? He plucked out one of the prince's eye and flew away to the young man's garret. And it was easy for him to get inside because there was a hole in the roof, and through that hole he darted. Darted means to move in a very with a high speed, okay, to move very fast, you can say. So he darted inside and came into the room. The young man buried his head in his hands. That means he was covering his head with his hands. Okay, he was putting his head down, as you do in the classroom sometimes when we punish you. So what happened? So he did not hear the flutter of the bird's wings. So the fluttering of the bird's wings were not heard. And when he looked up, so the bird kept the sapphire on the withered violet. Okay, that violet, that flower vase, he kept that violet, that sapphire on the top of that withered violets, and he flew back. So this man, when he looked up, he found that there was a beautiful sapphire lying on the withered violets. I'm beginning to be appreciated, he cried. This is from some great admirer. Now I can finish my play. And he looked quite happy. Now, see, students, here in this lines, some deep thoughts are included in these lines. What is he saying? I'm beginning to be appreciated, he cried. Okay, now the writer is saying that I'm beginning to be appreciated. It is really sad to see that there is a society where the artists and the writers are not appreciated. Why this writer is supposed to be poor? Why this man, okay, whose mind is, full of enriching thoughts? This writers, their minds are all full of what? Their minds are all full of enriching thoughts, isn't it? Beautiful thoughts, beautiful philosophy. But then in the society, they are, hardly being appreciated. Okay, they live a very poor life. So that realization that I'm beginning to be appreciated, he cried. This one line contains such a deep message for all of us, doesn't it? That we often fail to appreciate beautiful minds. Definitely the mind of a writer is very beautiful because it is buoyant, it is full of beautiful thoughts, isn't it? So he's saying that this is from some great admirer, because maybe his work, his writing was not appreciated before. So he's very happy. He's not happy about the fact that he will be earning money for it, but he's happy because he thought he got it as a token of gift. Okay, token of love from some great admirer, someone who liked his work, liked his writing. And then he says that now I can finish my play. Now I can finish writing my drama. And he looked quite happy. The next day, the swallow flew down to the harbor. He sat on the mast of a large vessel and watched the sailors working. I'm going to Egypt, cried the swallow, but nobody minded. And when the moon rose, he flew back to the happy prince. Okay, so what happened? The next day, the swallow, he flew to the harbor. Okay, harbor means port where, harbor or port where ships and other, water vessels are kept. Okay, so he says, where am I? Okay, he sat on the mast of a large vessel, water vessel, and he watched the sailors were working on their ships. Okay, and he was shouting. He was shouting and telling everyone, "I'm going to Egypt today. I'm going to Egypt today." But nobody was bothered. The sailors, other people in the mast, they were not even noticing the bird. Okay, but nobody minded. Okay, so here once again, students, what is the writer trying to tell us? That the swallow, the sacrifices of the swallow, was going unnoticed. People hardly notices these things, the beauty which lies in other people, isn't it? So people are busy with their own work. We hardly have any time to appreciate the beauty of anybody. Beauty here doesn't mean any physical beauty. It means what? Beauty of our thoughts, of our action. Okay, so nobody even bothered. Okay, किसी को कुछ फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता है ये बर्ड क्या बोल रहा है, जा रहा है, आ रहा है, किसी को कोई मतलब नहीं है, except whom? Except the happy prince. Okay, because there is a saying that flocks of same, birds of same feathers, they fly together. Okay, what does it mean? जो जिनका सोच एक टाइप का होगा वही दूसरे को रिकॉग्नाइज कर पाएगा, है ना? So the happy prince was the only person who was bothered about this swallow. Nobody else in that city even bothered to know who this bird is and what was he trying to say. Okay, I have come to bid you goodbye, he cried. So that night, once again, he comes to the happy prince and tells him that I am going to go. Okay, so I have come to bid you goodbye, he cried. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince. Will you not stay with me one night longer? So again, the prince is requesting the swallow to stay with him for one night more. Okay. It is winter, answered the swallow, and the snow will soon be here. In Egypt, the sun is warm on the green palm trees, and the crocodiles lie in the mud and look lazily about them. So now the swallow is saying that it is very cold here, it is winter here, and the snow will start falling here soon. Okay, and in Egypt it is very sunny and bright and very warm. Okay, and my friends are there, and I can see the crocodiles are lying on the mud and they are enjoying, they are taking sun bath. So I think I should move to Egypt now. So the happy prince goes on telling. In the square below, said the happy prince, there stands a little match girl. She has let her matches fall in the gutter, and they are all spoiled. Her father will beat her if she does not bring home some money, and she is crying. She has no shoes nor stockings, and her little head is bare. Pluck out my other eye and give it to her, and her father will not beat her. So what is he saying? He is saying that in the square below, Okay, square, you know, it's a kind of a point where four roads meet. Okay, so in the square below I can see, the happy prince is saying that I can see a little match girl. She came out of the house to sell her matches, but the matches somehow slipped out of her hand and it fell in the gutter, you know, no, dustbin, something like that, and all her matches are spoiled. Now if she goes back empty hand without taking home any money, then her father will beat her, and which is why she is crying. She has no shoes or stockings. It is so cold and she neither has any shoes nor stockings. Okay, and her little head is also bare. She has no cap also. Please pluck out my other eye and give it to her, and her father will not beat her. I will stay with you one night longer, said the swallow. But I cannot pluck out your eye. You would be quite blind then. So what did he say? What did he say? What did the swallow say? Okay, it is fine. Okay, I agree. I agree to stay with you for one night more. But I cannot pluck. Please don't ask me to pluck your other eye. Because if I pluck your other eye, you would be quite blind. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince. Do as I command you. Please do what as I am telling you. So he plucked out the prince's other eye and darted. Darted means flew or moved very fast. Okay, down with it. He swooped past the match girl and slipped the jewel into the palm of her hand. He moved, you know, very fast, the match, around the match girl and gave her the jewel on her hand. What a lovely bit of glass, cried the little girl, and she ran home laughing. Okay, she just thought it was a bit of glass. For this little girl, it was just a bit of glass. Okay, it was she didn't even know the significance of this sapphire. Okay, so here once again the innocence of a child is reflected. For this girl, that sapphire was only a bit of glass. Okay, she didn't understand the significance or the price of that glass. Of that stone. Only the price of the stone will be understood by her father, not by the little girl. Okay, and she ran home laughing. Then the swallow came back to the prince. You are blind now, he said. So I will stay with you always. So the swallow was so moved, so touched by this action of the prince, that he finally decides that, my dear prince, you are blind now. I can see that you cannot see anything now. So I have decided that I will not go to Egypt anymore. I will stay with you always. Okay, forever. So here you can see such a beautiful message of friendship, isn't it? Friendship is portrayed by Oscar Wilde. Okay, I will take up the other part. It's a little bit long story, so I will take the other part in my next class. Okay, students. Thank you, students. Please do follow both the lessons. This chapter is very, very important. Okay, thank you.